today, and this is about the education, because education is the most important virtue when it comes to knowledge of a person. You have to learn things in your life throughout your life, and in Sri Lanka there are so many blooms of businesses and also education institutes around the country which brings knowledge, important knowledge from other countries to Sri Lanka. So today with us is also another two people who represent such an institute. The Lanka Nippon Beat Stack Institute, known as the LNBTI, and with us today, closest to me, is the chairman, the Koga Michio, and also next to him is Dr. Manjuda Sandirigama, head of academic affairs of this institute. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. To start off the discussion, I would like to turn to Mr. Koga.
Yes.
Ask you about this institute. Why did you start it, and what's the contribution that Japan is making to Sri Lanka with this commencement?
Okay. I have four reasons to establish LNBTI. First one is my experience. I have been operating software developing company named Metatechno Lanka, and its Japanese mother company, Metatechno Inc. I realized that high potential of Sri Lankan students who are graduate from national university as well as private universities. Even though they are so excellent, but it takes a lot of time for them to learn Japanese way of business.
Yes.
So if there is a Sri Lankan Japanese university, the student can learn Japanese way of business and Japanese culture. It will be the advantage to get into Japanese industry. It's the first reason, and second reason is Sri Lankan education situation. Every year, 24,000 students can be admitted to national and private universities. Among 150,000 of students who pass the A-level test. So I thought I can give Sri Lankan students chance of getting higher education. And third reason is lack of software ICT engineer in Japan. In Japan, working population is forecasted to decrease by 10 million in 30 years. 10 million means that almost half population of total Sri Lankan people.
Yes.
And in Japan, university is suffering from lack of students because number of applicants students is less than the quota capacity. So it's a lack of student in Japan.
Okay.
And on the other hand, Japanese there are Japanese increase of demand for software engineer. Number of there are emerging new fields of Japanese computer industry, such as IoT, car industries, medical fields, and 3D printers, and so on. That means the demand for skilled ICT engineer will increase in Japan. Then Japanese ICT industry will be suffering from running short of engineers. Actually, Gartner Japan, it's a famous research firm, is forecasting that Japanese industry will run short of 300,000 ICT engineers in 2020.
Okay.
The last and most important point is to be able to form a joint venture with Zenith Ventures. Mr. Dinesh Saparamadu, chairman of Zenith Group companies, a friend of mine for more than 15 years. He agreed with me and it was his passion to establish a Japanese Sri Lankan university. And also, Sri Lankan companies that would like to get into Japanese ICT market aware that they need a lot of engineers who know Japanese way of the business. Finally, we decided to establish LNBTI as a joint venture.
Okay.
Well, that is amazing, actually. Education is the most powerful weapon that can be used to change the world, indeed. And we are very fortunate that we can actually strengthen the relationships between Japan and that of Sri Lanka also when it comes to education by this means. Moving on to Dr. Manjula, would like to ask you, now when we speak of the Lanka Nippon BizTech Institute, how can the students of Sri Lanka, especially when it comes to the advanced level students, how can they get in touch with the university, especially when it comes to the prerequisite requirements that they have to follow up when they need to get in?
Yeah, so as mentioned by our chairman, Mr. Koga, so this is an academic institute started by Zenith International and Meta Techno Lanka, so to produce IT graduates for the Japanese industry. So that is our main thing, but to enhance the process, so we give a lot of the social responsibility to the A-level students. Well, by the way, as you asked, our admission criteria is simple, 3 simple passes. Okay. We don't dilute that. So to enhance the process, so we give a lot of complementary things to students in the A-level. Basically, we give them, free seminars in physics, mathematics, ICT, and all that on the request of the students or by the school principals or the teachers. And we also give them free seminars in our premises, given by the specialized teachers, experts in the field in physics, ICT, and mathematics. And other than that, we also give them spoken English classes, web development, and development of general IT skills. All that is given free. And then, if they want to join our institute, they will go through an orientation program, which is again free of charge for 3 months, which will prepare them for to study IT effectively. So the orientation program is also complimentary. And then, impressively, we give a lot of scholarships for those who cannot afford to spend money, ranging from 25% to even 100%, just free, all free. So they will get the degree and then they will get the opportunity to work in Japan. So those the enhancements are there for those who are interested in joining us. Other than that, we also like to do some more things in the future to enhance the students, to facilitate the students to enter the academic institute.
Well, as the head of academic affairs, I would like to ask you, how effective are the programs when it comes to the different fields that you are looking at in the different programs that are going to be handled in the university?
Right, you asked me. Right, yeah. So it's basically we give the academic content in information technology, in IT and software engineering. Because as Mr. Koga said, there will be big demand for IT people in Japan in the next few years. So what they thought was it was an ideal opportunity for Sri Lankan students to get an opportunity to work in Japan. So right now what happens is, even if you want to work in Japan, after a general degree in Sri Lanka, you have to go through another process. You have to sit the IT exams and then you have to learn Japanese language. So what we do is we embed all that in our main program. Right. So in 4 years, students will get the IT degree and they will learn Japanese language. They will also sit the Japanese IT exams and they will be ready to work in Japan.
That's brilliant. So for anyone who wants to actually work in Japan, this would be a sure shot way.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
All right.
Provided that they work hard.
Okay. Definitely. Right. So I'll turn to Mr. Koga and just to ask you the next question now. The quality of anything matters mostly, especially when it comes to education. There has to be a good quality and also good standards. Tell me, in your institute, how do you maintain this quality and standards?
We prepare a high quality of academic program based on curriculum of information and engineering faculty of famous Japanese university, and that are taught by Sri Lankan State University academic staff. And we prepare, invite Japanese visiting lecturers to time and give students different surroundings knowledge in addition to main subject areas. For example, this year we invited Professor Tao from Ritsumeikan University and Professor Saito from Waseda University, and this December we plan to invite Dr. Tanaka, who is a professor in Kyushu Institute of Technology, and next Japanese. Many Japanese native teachers teach Japanese languages, and at last we prepare Japanese study tours for 10 days or 2 weeks, funded by Japanese government, such as Sakura Science Program.
Okay, so these are the ways you have to maintain the quality, because quality when it comes to education matters the most, because at the end what you're getting, what you're learning has to be recognized. That is the most important part. So at this institute it seems like you have it all in order.
And also adding to it, I would also like to ask you, Mr. Koga, what are the benefits of graduating from Lanka Nippon Business Institute? And when it comes to especially software graduates, the point is whether how effectively they can get into the industry and perform well in the industry. So sometimes there's always a gap there. So how do you think that this institute can bridge this gap?
After compulsory practical teaching of 3 years, we give them student higher diploma, and after getting higher diploma, student can select path from the following 3 paths. One is to transfer to the 3rd grade of Japanese university. We have found more than 10 Japanese universities they are positive to admit LNBTI student, and the Japanese university is keen to take care of their keen to find a job for graduate. And secondary, and they can choose work opportunity in Japanese company directly, or through Japanese organization or non-government organization in Japan. Some Japanese and Sri Lankan companies have already offered us that they like to employ LNBTI graduate. And third, after LNBTI getting university accreditation, they can go to 4th grade of university. And after graduating the fourth year, they can enjoy more advantageous job opportunity than that of higher diploma. As a result, we educate young Sri Lankan students to be a bridge between Sri Lanka and Japan.
All right, so these are the benefits you're receiving. All right, so also turn to Dr. Sandirigama. Just now, since you are the head of academic affairs of the institute, I would like to ask you now, this institute provides also, if I have learned that Japanese language and also IT sector courses, right?
Yeah.
So, when it comes to IT education, how do you maintain the quality of that education sector in your institute?
Well, basically, I would say the quality means that you do reviews and do corrections. Now, which is the main criteria of quality control in the Japanese industry. So we do the same thing. We do review and then corrections and all that. And mostly we made our syllabus according to the international standards, and we looked at the syllabuses of other countries as well as in Japanese universities, and then of course the state universities in Sri Lanka, and then we made a high quality the IT syllabus.
Okay.
So we also have this Japanese language teaching program where students will take Japanese language proficiency test at the end of the number of years. So what happens is, when they come to the institute, in 2 years they learn basic IT subjects and Japanese language, and then they have the option of going to Japan to complete their degree. So they will do their third year and fourth year in Japan. So they will get a Japanese degree from a Japanese university. So the Japanese university have identified and they have recognized that our 2 years of education is comparable to their level of education. So it's a great achievement. They have recognized our level 2 is equivalent to their level 2.
That's right.
So after year 2 they can go to Japan and continue their degree, continue their studies and get the degree, or they have the option of staying here all 4 years in Sri Lanka and get our own degree. So in either case, so by the end of 4 years, they will have they will know all the fundamental IT, and then on top of that, they will also have the specialized IT subjects, and then they would have passed Japanese proficiency test, which is the international benchmark for admission of Japanese universities. And then more than that, they will also sit the Japanese IT exams, which is a prerequisite to work in Japan in IT industry. So in the 4 years, well, probably it might become 4.5 years in case they transfer to Japan. So after the period of 4 to 5 years, they will be ready with an IT degree, a Japanese language qualification, plus Japanese, they call it Japanese passport exams, so which will enable them to work in anywhere in Japan or even other Japanese companies in the world. So that is how we do. And also this program has everything there, the IT education plus IT implant training and everything is there. So they can also get a chance, opportunity to get some training in Japan. So during the academic program. So it's a solid program, it's filled with, a lot of knowledge and also exposure to the Japanese culture. Because as you know, the Japanese, they are known for quality. So what we thought was, we also at least we inculcate those quality concepts in our students, so that they can be successful in their lives. So that's how we do, and that is our main program. So as I told you, to enable all that, we give our complementary things to the A-level students, those who want to enter. If they want to brush up their English, or they want to, even if they have not done mathematics, we teach them mathematics. In the program, it's all complementary. So we do all that as our social corporate responsibility.
Right. Let me ask you a side question to that. Extra question actually. Now, if we don't have A-levels, is there any other alternative way to get in?
Well, we want 3 passes in A-levels, but there is another path recognized by TVEC, Tertiary and Vocational Education Institute. Those who do not have A-levels can sit what is known as NVQ level 4, which is comparable to A-level. And if they do NVQ level 4, they can enter and then do NVQ level 5 and 6, which is equivalent to 2 years of university education. And they can continue with us, or they can go to Uniotech and continue their degree. Those who have not done A-levels. But we will not take anybody directly to our program if they don't have A-levels.
Yes. Okay.
Right. And also, now when we speak of the parents, students, how can they get to know about the different programs, especially when it comes to the scholarships
Yes.
and also the entry dates and application
That's right,
deadlines?
yes. So
and all that?
everybody is welcome, teachers, principals, students, if they want to get free seminars, for the students, if they don't have teachers, or even just some top-up things. We can have some seminars in our premises, or we can visit the schools. We do all that. And if they are interested, the teachers, principals or students, they can call our hotline number. It's 077 336 0000. 077 336 0000. So they can call that number anytime and they get more details.
All right, okay. Right, so you can use those methods and get to know about more information from these two gentlemen. Also, thank you so much for coming in, and also we hope that your endeavors get successful, because it's a great thing that you're doing by combining both Sri Lanka and also Japan, and also combining the education systems into one merging system. Thank you so much for that.
That's great.
And
Thanks.
thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
All right, so we are concluding today's guest session when it comes to the first guest session of today's, and also next we'll be having another guest session. And right now, Buddhi might wonder what we're doing.
Yes, right now we are going to move for a short break on Rise and Shine, and let's be right back with another interesting guest in the studio, especially when it comes to the significance of Il Full Moon Pohe Day. We are going to speak to you about how important it is to lead a meaningful life.